What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Raw review. This one for November 28th, 1994. Almost done with the year. We got 1 month left. And let's get right into it. Raw starts off, and for the first time ever, I believe, they start the show with a recap of the pay per view. They show the results of the WWF Title Match and the Survivor Series Tag Match that involved the Heartbreak Kid and Diesel. This is done to show us that Diesel won the WWF title at a house show by quick fashion by defeating Bob Backlund. So before we get into Raw, let's talk about Survivor Series a little bit. My overall thoughts of the show were that it was just a disappointing show altogether. Just what I can remember because I didn't take notes of it. The traditional Survivor Series matches weren't all that entertaining. The match that had Diesel and HBK ended with a 5-on-1 advantage on Razor, but because Shawn super kicked Diesel on accident, Shawn Michaels ran from Diesel to the back as the rest of the team tried to separate them, and they all got counted out like idiots. It didn't make any sense. Then in the other traditional Survivor Series tag match, whatever, the $1 Million Team won after it was down to a 3-to-1 advantage on Luger, so they decided to clean pin Lex Luger to push King Kong Bundy. Again, new generation, but they're still pushing the old guys. Like, it doesn't make any sense. The good side of it, you can see, is that the $1 Million stable stayed strong, getting a win on pay per view, but still. And again, I'm not a huge fan of Lex Luger, but they were building him. They just keep building him. This is like they keep building him up and then they bring him back down. Doesn't make any sense. Then we had the WWF title match that went on just a little too long. The parts of the match were fine, but if they could have gotten to the end a little faster, it wouldn't have been a complete chore to sit through. Owen Hart tricking his mom to throw in the towel for Brett, who's his mom as well, obviously. It was perfect. It gives more heat if it's needed at all to the Hart sibling rivalry and allowed an excuse for Bret Hart to lose the title. Bob Backlund was doing some good work as a heel challenger that I didn't really mind them putting the belt on him. This one did make sense because it was built around new versus old. So the old guy getting a win on a new guy, especially winning the WWF title, it got a little point across, so to speak, for at least this night. Then in the main event casket match, The Undertaker ended up winning, but it had interference. The one thing they said would not happen because of the enforcer Chuck Norris being there. Chuck Norris did super kick Jeff Jarrett, but that was really much it. IRS, like I said on previous reviews with the vignettes that he had at the cemetery, he did come out to attack The Undertaker at the Survivor Series pay-per-view, but Taker was still able to win, and who knows where Yokozuna goes from here. Started off the year as WWF Champ, basically undefeated. Then he loses at Mania, loses to Earthquake, who is now in WCW, got bodied by Adam Bomb, and now he's getting buried by The Undertaker, and he is basically left with nothing to do. Which I'm not complaining about, I'm just pointing that out. So now let's get into the Raw episode. It starts off with Owen Hart versus an Enhancement talent, and he picks up the win with the sharpshooter. Owen came out with the towel that cost Bret the title and mocks the jobber with it by throwing it at him after he wins. Owen Hart at the top of his game when it comes to playing his role as this sniveling little heel or whatever he was trying to go for. Whatever he's going for, he's doing it. So next up we have IRS versus Adam Bomb. $1 Million Man and a Druid are at ringside for this match. Bomb had the advantage but gets distracted by DiBiase and Irwin takes control. Pretty basic match. When IRS does his abdominal stretch, grabbing onto the ropes, I know we are going to sit through a longer than needed match. Adam Bomb has been given no mic or for that matter camera time, no mic or camera time for fans to really get behind him. And besides the kids who cheer for any colorful character, nobody's really behind him like you would expect. I don't think it's really his fault though because we really haven't been shown if he can be a good character or not. So the Druid interferes and Adam Bomb comes off the top rope and gets pinned. Lex Luger then runs in the ring and attacks IRS because they look like they were going to attack Adam Bomb even more after the match. So Lawler says that Luger was sticking his nose in other people's business, which I agree with. So now he's still involved with the whole $1 Million stable thing. Who knows what Lex Luger is going to be doing. We know that he's not challenging for any titles soon, so he's just going to be floating around doing nothing, I guess. And after losing at the pay-per-view, again, he has nothing to do. Then another jobber match. Bob Holly picks up a win with a top rope clothesline. He's been here for about a year, and I don't think we've heard him cut a promo in the ring or backstage. So again, another guy that fans can't really get behind if they're not really given the time for fans to get behind them. We then see a vignette of Henry Godwin. Yes, the Godwins are going to start coming into the WWF, starting with Henry, who I think is the one that lasts the longest in this Godwin family storyline, Godwin family gimmick, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, Henry Godwin coming soon to the WWF. Then, in another jobber match, this time Lex Luger getting a win with a torture rack submission. Vince McMahon continuing to praise him on commentary, but he's been losing all his matches starting since SummerSlam of last year. He lost his title match at WrestleMania. They couldn't even give him the full win at the Royal Rumble. He had to co-share that with Bret Hart. He lost to Tatanka at SummerSlam, and then he lost the Survivor Series pay-per-view match. It's obvious you're not going to do anything with him. Stop pushing him. Stop selling him to us as if he's a top star. You don't like him. Just get rid of him. Speaking of the guy, Vince in the ring for an interview with the new WWF champion, Diesel. Vince asks him about what happened at Survivor Series, and Diesel tells us that we all know that Shawn loves the spotlight, and he's lucky that he took off at Survivor Series because Shawn knows what would have happened to him if he got his hands on him. Then he tells us about his days starting from when he woke up all the way until he won the title at the house show. He officially turns babyface by acknowledging the fans who wished him luck, and he praises Bret Hart and wants to be just like him, a fighting champion. He tells Bret that anytime, any place, he'll grant him a title shot from the Big D. Now, I don't know if I wrote that in the notes to try to be funny or if that's actually what Diesel said. I might go back and watch this episode just to see if he did or not, if he called himself the Big D. If you watched it, let me know in the comments so I don't have to go watch it. But yeah, he gives his final words by saying, "Long live the new generation." I wonder why this didn't work out as well as it should have with Diesel. Turning their monster into a baby kissing, hand shaking, corny, line spewing babyface. Unfortunately, this will not be the first time that they make this mistake with turning a heel monster into a face, but next up we get a tag team match with the Heavenly Bodies. They take on some Enhancement guys, and they get the win with an assisted splash double team move. Bob Backlund then joins Vince on commentary where he was talking about what he's going to do with Diesel. McMahon shows what happened when Backlund lost the belt, and Bob gets pissed. So he storms off and tells Vince that before he retires, he will procure the crossface chicken wing on him. And you know, Bob Backlund is still alive, so I would love to see him return and make good on this promise from like 27 years ago. But that's it for the episode. I'm going to give this one a bad grade. While I did think that they did good on explaining what happened at Survivor Series, nothing was really pushed further. And one other thing I like was that there was no King's Court on this one. All the matches on the show were nothing though. So that's why I'm going to give it a bad grade. Raw was a terrible show. So I'm out. I'll catch you guys on the next review.